Hi, I'm David Kirkpatrick of Techonomy. I'm here with Lars Björk, the CEO of QlikTech and his product QlikView. We're in his office in Radnor, Pennsylvania, and we're very pleased that QlikTech and QlikView are big sponsors of Techonomy in 2012. So we're just going to talk about a whole lot of issues around the company and its position in the market and where it's going. So Lars, just describe what QlikView does and what it is, first of all.
I think we do something that's very common to a lot of people in business and organizations. We help them make smarter decisions off all that oceans of data that they have. Either it's in legacy systems or in databases. We make that understandable for the average user in an organization to easily pull together information.
So generically this is in the category of business intelligence software, but what is it? What is the secret sauce that you guys bring to that?
Yeah, you would put it in the bucket of business intelligence, but I think we have created a broader and a much larger bucket that we call business discovery. And our big differentiator is, rather than starting from the technology and develop something for the user, we start from the user. How would you like to interact with information? How would you like to present that information to yourself?
So you operate in a marketplace where a lot of giants also have big interests, whether it's IBM, Microsoft, Oracle, other big companies. How does that feel to be a sort of small, scrappy insurgent in that marketplace?
I think the experience is slightly different today than it was some years ago, when we were clearly considered to be an ankle biter and annoying to these big players. Now I think we are a respectable player in this field. We are outgrowing the industry with a factor of 6 to 8 times every year. And we know that a lot of these big players have picked up the more traditional vendors in this space in recent years. But I think they represent the old paradigm in this. This is where you build everything from the center. It is static views of how you interrogate data. And the question that I ask customers, do you run a static company or do you run a dynamic company? Well, of course I run a dynamic company. Nobody wants to be static. And that's what we play in. The tool is very agile, it's very dynamic, and it resonates with the use case. But I also think there is another dimension to it. It is such a big need out there. There is room for both. So we very often coexist with these big players in our client base.
Give us an example of a typical problem that QlikTech would solve.
I'll give.
I always say both. QlikView is the product.
Yeah, QlikView is the product. So a typical problem, or a very common one that people ask themselves if you run a business is, of course, how much did we sell? How do we track sales? How are we performing in our customer relationships? But it can be all the way to a surgeon today in a hospital. How can they benefit 20 years of information around a subject matter to treat that child that they have in front of them to the best? Or you could take a Peruvian fisherman village who decides, where do we go out to sea to fish today? And they use all the information around currents and other stats around fishing before they decide to go out. So the use case is so broad. If we spent some time, I think we could go through any kind of industry.
Do you have fishermen customers?
Yes, we do.
You do?
We do.
You really
we have
do.
fishermen customers. We have police as customers. We have surgeons as customers. We have army as customers. We have Secret Service as customers, and so on and so on. So I think the use case is just lots of data, unclear how you get to the information around that needs to be presented in a way where more people in an organization can take decisions. I think there's another trend playing into this as well. We talked about consumerization. I think that democratization of decision making is also something that's playing in here. a large organization is going to benefit tremendously from empowering more people to make smart decisions rather than a few at the top.
So you're trying to really position for a world of collaboration.
Absolutely. QlikView 11 is well positioned, recently out in November.
That's your current product, yeah.
Yes, current version of our product. And I think we just scratched the surface of that. Early days, but we're going to see a lot more in that.
Any other trends that you see as sort of macro trends that?
Of course, there are bigger macro trends, cloud, big data, that we tap into as well. Big data is a very broad term, and we play into that as well.
How do you play into big data?
In the sense that what big data represents, you could ask yourself, is it a relative term or is it an absolute term? And I think the difference between the user or the use case. I think the more important question is, most people don't even have access to relevant data, something that they can view their business or their organization on tomorrow. So, and the broader aspect of this, we are drowning in data in today's world. It's not going to get any better. So how can we mine all that data and make sense out of it? And then cloud, I think, is going to be just a broader and bigger platform for deploying.
Well, Lars, it's been great having this conversation with you. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
I've really enjoyed it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, David.